is it beginning? Yep, here we are. Okay, so it's started. So essentially I've opened up that sword you have. This is the previous demo that I made, but I'm going to go through, create a new layer. Now you can go file, edit or layer, new layer in the menu, or you can go new layer, which is this second button next to the trash bin down there. The trash bin is pretty self-explanatory. So there we go. We'll go video layer. This is for the video. So I rename that. So I can double click on the name itself and then just type in the name just to get that name. I encourage everyone to use the layer system to name the layers appropriately, so you don't get lost if you happen to have tons of them. Okay, so now the tool we'll use for the video is the shape tool. You got a few options. You got a path and a pixel tool. I'm just going to use the shape at this particular time, and I'm using the width of 3 points. Yep, so I've currently got a width set to 0 pixels. And as you can see, if I drag that across, that's going to create something. So if I create something, say 20 point, it's going to be this big fat thing going across the screen. Yeah, so once I complete the tool, like it'll create this big giant line. So yeah, so if I go rasterize layer, actually no, it's okay. It's really controlled by this, but essentially this is overriding the. So yeah, so that will be 3 point. I'll just leave it at that. If I go in and say I created say 40 over here, then when I use the tool, that's actually no. Look, it's fine. We can do it this way. So look, it's working. I just haven't completed the tool, but I'm not going to. This works for what we need to know. We're sort of delving too far into the functionality. What we have now works. So holding down the mouse, so I'm clicking on the edge of the sword, holding down the button, and then I get to the tip, I release it. That creates the first tool. Right now I'm creating a new layer for every shape. I probably don't want to be doing that, so I've got this option up here, so I can go combine shapes. So now every time I create a shape, it's going to be in the same layer, so I don't create layer upon layer upon layer. So again, holding down the left mouse button, and dragging all the way up to the hilt, doing that. Then as I just created, it's gonna keep it in the same shape. Another one there, another one there, and then of course one to split it up the middle all the way to the point. And there we go, there's the hilt, the sword body. Now same again for the hilt, so I'll probably split that again. I could probably just drag that line up to there, but for this video I'll separate out the pieces. Yeah, you could do that, but I'm also accounting for just for the drawing technique. I'll be using a white line for that, but yeah, you could do that. Essentially you could do that. I don't see why not. So I'll just redraw that line. I'm gonna go all the way up the middle to the hilt, so it's entirely optional, but you're not gonna see that, and you're gonna have to redraw that with the white line. Now the photo's not 100% lined up correctly, so that's slightly off. Visually that might be a bit confusing, so I think I'll just draw it individually. So for that I'll just draw it in the middle where that is, because it's slightly off, just for the demonstration of where the lines will be on the model itself, not that we're sort of using a real world photo. So I'm doing pizza cuts here, sort of going through the middle, and then yeah, through to the other side.
So unless the photo is exactly perfectly square,
don't put it in the middle. Yeah, basically, because as you could see, the line was running slightly off center, which is fine. I mean, just so it's clearer for you to go back over, and you're going, oh, why did I? Later you might look at it and go, why the hell did I put it, slightly off center? And but that's fine. So yep, just drawing down, I'm sort of just basically tracing over. Now I might want to use the zoom in tool. Now with the zoom tool, you can see how it turns to a minus like that. I'm pressing the Alt key on the keyboard, so I hold down the Alt key and press, so that's going out, and then just the default should be the zoom in. So it should be the plus, so that's zoom in, holding, and then just zooming out like so. And so that's just using the zoom tool. So okay, I'll go back in, switch back over to my line tool, and then start drawing where I think the intersections should probably go. Now before in the previous demo I drew both sides, so what I might do now is flatten. So you've got merge visible or merge shapes. So I'm using merge shapes, that merges it down, but also I want to rasterize the layer. Right now it's holding, so currently it has vector information, I mean it's acknowledging the points within that structure I created. So if I rasterize it, that means it's turning it into pixel information, purely pixel information. It'll forget.
Why does it just say pixel? Why is it rasterize?
Well, you can create that option to begin with. You can go pixels, but I just thought I'd keep the shape, so if you wanted to adjust some.
Rasterize. Why does rasterize say rasterize and not pixelate? Turn to pixel.
Well, it's the same thing. Raster graphics, or is basically pixel graphics. It's another name for it. They're just throwing you a long ball to confuse you.
Yeah, so they're putting more words in there. They've got no real.
Yeah, because if it was gonna, because see, it's giving you that option of pixel, but they're calling it rasterize.
It doesn't say rasterize in that group at the top there.
Yeah, it doesn't say rastered graphics, it's saying pixel graphics. So essentially, yeah, so I'm getting the pixel graphics, so it's not gonna do, it's just drawing those lines without any of that history. So see how it's kept it as shape, and it doesn't have that plus sign that you get with the shape tool. Shape tool meaning there's actually shape point. See, these 2 points are being remembered every time. Yep, and you can go in and you can grab your thingy tool. Oh, I want to move. I want to move that, or grab the points as such, as it were. Direct select tool. So I'm selecting that point, but it's actually stretching it out, because actually on that line creation tool there's 4 points, so I'd probably need to select those 2 points to move the actual line around. But anyway, regardless, you could work with the pixel tool exclusively and just have less things to deal with if you want, which is what I'll do now. But anyway, I've gone in and created part of the sword that I probably don't need to, so I can go up to my history and just go back to the beginning of creation there. So what I did before, so this is now pixel art, so I've rasterized everything, it's working great, it's all joined. So I can go select my Macquarie tool. I probably want to select up to the middle of the hilt there. So that's my Macquarie select. I can go edit, copy, or Control C, as it's giving me that option there. But I'll just use the menu in in the edit option. So I've copied that. Now I'm just going to go edit, paste, or Control V. Now it copies it pretty much in the same location. Now here I need to flip that horizontally, so I go edit again. There's transform, and I've got horizontal flip, so it's flipping it horizontally, which is great. So I grabbed that with my arrow tool, so I've unselected that. I've grabbed the arrow tool, so I've got that new layer now. That's completely done in a new layer. Move that across, and I'm just lining that up. Now I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard. Now because the photo doesn't line up, that's fine. This will line up almost perfectly as a topo. Yeah, as it should in the.
As it should is in
Yep.
a perfect picture.
Yep, and because this is.
Yeah, it should line up like your eye makes it line up. So it makes it
Yep.
square.
Now this is the eraser tool. Because that line doesn't quite line up as much as I want, and because I've only got this layer selected, so if I undo that, if I click on the eyeball, it blinds out the last layer. But see how I'm erasing? It's only if we'll go Control Z to undo that. I just want to delete that line there because it's a bit of, it's not lining up as I would.
It's not part of the other one, it won't erase the other line either.
Exactly. So those, whereas if I select on this one, yeah, it's deleting that. But yeah, I could select. Well, it's not letting me do that. But if I merge these layers now, so go select on those two, go merge layers. Don't do merge visible. Merge visible will merge everything that's seen, basically with the eyeball turned on. And flatten image, it'll just flatten everything down to the background. So just merge the layers you got selected. So just remember, like when you want to select two layers, you got to hold down Control, and then click both. So that so that gives you those two. So yep. So there's that. Now the only bit missing was the now currently I have my colors, black and white. Now to select your colors, you can select say a red or something like that just by clicking on the swatch itself, but I just want to do absolute black, which is all the way down to the corner. Go OK, because that's the only one. Now I click that arrow tool, so that brings that forward to my main color being used, so long as it's on top. And I'm gonna grab my line tool again, which is here. Now see how on yours you might originally have the rectangle tool, so you need to right click on this, sorry, left click, hold down, and then you get the line tool. Yeah, so that's what you want to be working with. You're playing with shape at the moment, but you might just want to use pixel. And the weight should be, I think 1 pixel's okay. If you use like 5 pixels, you might get a lot thicker. Yeah, you can see the line's already huge, but I think you can work with 1 pixel, like so, and then you once again holding and clicking.
Yeah, that's cleaner.
Yeah, much cleaner. Holding and clicking, and then like you might have see a couple of lines to extrude out from where that detail is, maybe there on the sword.
So
You got those 2 little bumps, and then like you create that intersection, and then you extrude. You'd extrude in 3ds Max to get that, so you'd have all the faces selected around. And then there, and you might have a few more lines up the middle, so that's the one up the middle, but you might have like 1 more up there, but just to make it clean, because we don't have that much visual space, I'll just add that line up the middle, so there's intersections. And essentially I'd create, when in 3ds Max, I'd create the main shape first, so I'd create it without these lines in the middle, then scale this in, so you get that automatic taper, then go in and create these lines, because then you'll have the taper already built in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yep.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
Yeah, so that's for the next assessment. So then we go back to our pencil tool. I'm changing the colors again because right now I'm zoomed in and I'm just cleaning everything up. So I'm just using at extreme zoom. It's going to be a little messy, but I do have my eraser tool to go in and clean it up afterwards, I guess, or just go back and redraw the edges. So I'm not exactly happy with this overspill here, so I might just go back there, erase it, then go back to my pencil tool. Now also as well, you've got on the pencil tool, you probably have brush to begin with, so you'll need to so holding my button down, so clicking on that, holding my button down, that's the left mouse button, and then clicking, then letting go release on the pencil tool, so I get that pencil tool, and I'm drawing on that pencil tool at pretty much 1 pixel width, just so I get more fine control. Oh, a bit of overspill, I'm going back to my eraser, just clean that up. I've got a bit over the edge there. So when I zoom out, so click the zoom tool, pressing alternate on my keyboard, holding alternate, and then clicking the left mouse button, I'm zooming out, and that brings me back to my 100%. And so it looks a bit crap, so I'll go back in, and that's alright.
Yeah, but at 100% it looks okay.
It looks okay. I'd just probably clean that up.
Because you know there's something at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come to a flat
But
end.
but essentially, I've got all the planning I need for my topology there. So that's done. I mean, that's good. And I'd that's my previous layer. So yeah, it's essentially I'm following. Probably looks a little cleaner in the last one because I took more time on the hilt. But that's up to you. Just as long as you get a rough idea and you understand why you're creating the topology map, that's the main thing. But yeah. So
you don't have to do everything in Zoom, though. You don't have to do it at max Zoom.
No. That's just I'd just say go in and use the zoom just to clean up your edges if you feel it's a bit shoddy, some of your line work. But using the line tool, the good thing about the line tool is you can draw straight lines basically from one point to another point. And I'd say if you're not using a tablet, which most people don't have a tablet, then I'd say use it anyway. And even if you were using a tablet, I'd say if you're drawing hard surface edges, use the line tool anyway, because you don't have to. You're not proving anything by doing it freehand. It's just the most practical tool for this particular.
So most of the click and drag is left mouse button.
Yep. So again, hold down your thing, click and drag, let go. There's your line. That's it. Just pressing Control Z to do that, and that's it. And when you're doing that line tool, make sure you have that layer option to add it as one layer. But I think that's only under shape. But if you go down to pixels, I think it's indiscriminate. It'll just do it to the same layer. It's not going to create a new layer. That's why it's blanking it out. So if you do it as pixels,
You want me to do it in the first one, not pixel?
Shape if you just want to play with the lines after you create them, but I think you'd be okay to use pixels.
Okay.
Yeah, and just be aware of your width. You probably just want to do it as 1 pixel width. This is your image that I'm using, so I'm using the exact same material as you. Change the color for the hilt because you're not going to see black lines. I mean, you can use black and white. I'm comfortable with that, but otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's the one-to-one.
I'll change the 2 colours. I'll probably have like red and blue.
Cool.
Just
Spider-Man.
So it's different.
yeah.
No, just so it's different, so we know that okay.
Yeah.
Bang,
And it sticks out. It will pop out a bit more for you.
This is the blade. This is the hilt. This is the handle, and
Yeah.
the guard. Simple, yeah.
And these are where I'm adding intersections because this is the detail I need to bring out. So ideally you could add 3 or 4 more intersections if you wanted to, but I mean, again, you're just roughing it out. It doesn't have to be one-to-one with your final creation, just so long as those lines in those particular spaces help you get the detail.
Okay, can we zoom right out to maximum?
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, right all the way in, as far in as you can. Okay, so that's maximum, right?
Yep. So maximum goes down to each individual. See how you got that white
Yep.
silhouette? Those are individual pixels. So right now it's letting me zoom into 32,000%.
Yep.
But essentially you don't.
Which is pretty big.
Yeah. If you're working at that, I think it's very unnecessary. I think I was working down
Okay.
at the closest 500% zoom.
Go down to 250.
200. I can. Right now it's letting me do 200. You could probably work it. That's 100%. That's 200. 300 I think would be the absolute max. Oh, by the way, you can zoom. Just be aware you got these sidebars on the side that allow you to manually move around your image.
If we go down to 200% and zoom and scroll down the page for me.
Oh, 200%.
200%, okay, and just put the guard at the top of the page.
Right there.
The guard at the top of the
Oh, like that?
Yeah, okay. Keep going. Stop. Oh, a bit too far. I want the bottom of the blade at the bottom of the page.
Yep.
Okay, now, if we really wanted to, we'd put 1 or 2. If we really wanted to, you put 1 or 2 straight lines across, wouldn't you? Just to show, if you wanted to.
Yeah, just to show if you wanted to. Say if you wanted to have it slightly taper, or like be sort of short and then have a really tapered edge, you could do that, and then you could like scale in the edges. I guess scaling the edges from side to side or scale them up from side to side to have some sort of detail.
In other words, you've got no more than 300% anyway. And I'm zooming.
Yeah, otherwise it's just like it's too far in, and you're sort of concentrating on details that might be too unnecessary. Because essentially, yeah, it's just showing you to rough it out in the most simplest terms. And honestly, even if you're a pro, you'd be using the line tool for these hard-edged surfaces, because trying to do it freehand is, I mean, apart from showing off that you can draw a free-handed straight line, that's great, but it's really unnecessary. So, you know, I mean, for what we've done already, I think it serves a purpose. So yeah, that's it, and you can do the same thing.
And even at 66%, when you can still see the cross lines too, which is okay.
Yep. So that's pretty much the sword. We've gone for 20 minutes and 58 seconds. Are there any questions you want to add into the video so you can go over? Because I don't want you to sit through 20-something minutes of video if there's a lot of banter.
I followed it, so
yep.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I won't use that. So I'll use the other sword and I'll do it different.
Yeah. Look.
Colours, so
yeah, and I mean, it just gives you confidence to use Photoshop for these.
And with my chair, I'll just do the front two legs and not worry about the back one.
Because if you go to the back, it's essentially the same perspective, yeah.
Well,
no, except for the mouse.
From the front view, you've got the three legs.
Yep.
But the back leg, you're going to miss. You miss like 5 or 6% of the actual leg length because it's behind them. You can't see them because the angle it's been taken at.
Yeah.
See, you're losing between the notch and the bottom.
Yeah, because you can't get that perspective.
Yeah, you don't get that angle. So
yeah, or you
like
could. You could, to make it a flat perspective, you could just draw a line to there, straighten it out, draw this leg down, and then just draw that one down the middle to the same distance, but just don't add this top section. That's if you wanted to, but seriously, with the perspective you got, I think you could just as long as you understand, you know, what you're creating in 3D. But I think drawing a topology and having like those triangles meeting to the center, and that, I think this perspective would be good enough. You know, you could draw the line here, then maybe have a couple of intersections, and then just have your triangles meet in the middle. And then, you know, have your thing, and whether you want this blocky, you could add maybe a line there, a line there, a line there.
Well, there are a couple of lines in it, so
yeah, so I think that'd be okay, because it's not such a complicated piece. You could get away with it.
Well,
it's not a human face. If you're going to use this,
it's not perfectly smooth on legs anyway, so you've got to show the sections.
Like if I quickly Google the human face, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, it's a hell of a lot more complicated. Where's my so yeah, just pulling it up. So human face topology. You'll see the complexity. So yeah, and you'll see there's drawovers here, there's a few down here. You'll need front and side, because that all makes
yeah, well, the side, the front view doesn't show the depth of the nose. You have to have the side view.
Yep, exactly right. And
same
that's
same with the ears. You can't see how deep or how far back the ears go from the front view.
exactly. Oh, the top of the ears should line up with the top of the eyes. Pretty much on every.
What I'm saying is, when you got bald people, you can't see that the ear stops there. You think, okay, it's going to go all the way around the back.
Yep. And so see even with this one here, he's drawn it through the hair, so you can see where the head should be. Yeah. So yeah, and that's why you're adding it later on, just so you understand. Like once you get into organic modeling, this is where it's really going to pay off to understand why you need to have these drawovers. See, this guy's only done half a face, which is all you need, because he's asymmetrical. You're just copying it.
Except for the eye, one eye is always higher than the other, one ear is always higher than the other. So
yeah.
Otherwise it looks wrong. So
yeah, slightly off. Same with this female's face, and see he's broken up the main patch areas and things like that. So But yeah, I mean, this is more advanced than what you need to do now. But essentially, this is just indicating where you'd be going with it. See, this guy's patch modeling the face in separate sections, and then he's going to later join them together, etc. But yeah, this is overkill for what you're doing, but it's essentially where you'd be heading with it. So yeah, cool. All right, it's 25 minutes. I'm going to stop the video here. I'll upload it, and you can look over it again if you do get stuck. But yeah, no worries. I just guess it's kind of experiment. Yeah, and if you go, crap, what does this tool do? Again, you can look it up, and you can go through the process with me as many times as you like. Yeah, and it's non-destructive. It gives you everything you need, and if you forget something, I'm happy to go through stuff again. So anyway,
submit it again with this done.
okay, 25 minutes and pretty much 26 seconds. Okay, I'll stop now. Cool.